University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello. While the first round of this competition offers the safety net of a second chance for the more able losing teams, and the quarterfinals require 2 strikes before a team is out, this second round is rather more brutal. You win or you go home. So far, Emmanuel College, Cambridge and the University of Manchester have made it through to the next stage, and we've said goodbye to 2 Oxford colleges, Hertford and St Peter's. Now, the team from Edinburgh University breezed through their first round match against Sydney Sussex College, Cambridge, winning by 210 points to 75, and are obviously hoping for something similarly unassertive tonight in the way of opposition. So far, they've proved themselves knowledgeable on particle physics, US state capitals and classics of world literature reworked as tweets. With an average age of 23, let's meet the Edinburgh team again.
Hi, I'm Matt Booth. I'm from Bristol, and I'm studying for a PhD in mathematics.
Hello, my name is Marco Maluzan. I come from Monfalcone, Italy, and I'm studying for a degree in economics and politics.
And this is their captain.
Hi, I'm Max Fitzjames. I'm from Burgundy in France, and I'm doing a PhD in cell biology.
Hello, I'm Robbie Campbell-Hewson. I'm from Edinburgh, and I'm studying maths.
The team from University College London were trailing up until just before the halfway point of their first round match, when their opponents and close rivals, King's College London, obliged them by taking their fingers off the buzzers. UCL then dominated the second half, and a late flurry by Kings wasn't enough to threaten their lead, which stood at 180 to 145 at the gong, helped by their knowledge of the poet Robert Southey, China in the 1920s and blobitecture. Their average age is 28. Let's meet them again.
Hi, I'm George Mitkoff. I'm from Warwickshire, and I'm studying French and German.
I'm Sophia Walker. I'm from Boulder, Colorado, and I'm studying for a Master's in Translation.
And this is their captain.
Hello, I'm Robert Johnstone from Worcester Park in Surrey, and I'm studying for a Master's in Medical Imaging.
Hello, I'm Feiyu Fang. I'm from Leicester, and I'm studying physics.
OK, we won't waste any time reciting the rules. Fingers on the buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10. What common 4-letter word is this? The 19th century literary scholar William Minto named it the panacea which alone brings order out of confusion. Jerome K. Jerome said he could sit and look at it for hours. Khalil Gibran said it was love made visible, while Oscar Wilde reputedly called it the curse of the drinking classes.
Edinburgh Fitzjames.
Beer?
UCL Johnston.
Work.
Work is correct, yes. 3 questions for your bonuses on terms used in business. The name of what arcade game of the 1980s is applied to a strategy in which the intended target of a takeover counterattacks by making an offer for the firm trying to acquire it?
Pong, maybe?
Pong.
Maybe.
Pong?
Yeah.
That's definitely an arcade game, yeah.
Do you know many from the 80s?
As good a guess as any.
Pong?
No, it's Pac-Man. Secondly, its meanings including a measure of a company's liquidity, the term acid test comes from the practice of testing the purity of gold with what acid, also known as aqua fortis?
Sulfuric?
That'd be sulfuric. Sulfuric?
No, it's nitric acid. And finally, what term denotes both a sheep that leads a flock and a closely watched company that may mark the fortunes of an entire industry?
Bellwether.
Bellwether.
Correct. 10 points for this. Which Act of 1765 was a British parliamentary attempt to raise revenue in its American colonies?
UCL Fang.
Stamp Act.
Correct. You get a set of bonuses on fruit in poetry. Firstly, forbidden fruit a flavour has that lawful orchards mocks. Who wrote those words in a poem published in 1896, 10 years after her death in Amherst, Massachusetts?
Is that Emily Dickinson?
Emily Dickinson.
Yeah.
Emily Dickinson.
Correct. Bloom down-cheeked peaches, swart-headed mulberries, wild-free cranberries. Those are among the fruits for sale in which poem by Christina Rossetti?
Goblin Market.
Yeah.
Goblin Market.
Correct. In William Carlos Williams' poem, This Is Just to Say, what fruit has been taken from an icebox and eaten?
Plums.
Plums.
Correct. 10 points for this. What specific type of building appears in the title of a 2006 collection of short stories by Alice Munro, a short novel of 1800 by Maria Edgeworth, a mystery novel of 1961 by Shirley Jackson, and the first in a fantasy series?
UCL Walker.
Castle.
Castle is correct. These bonuses are on the astronomer and mathematician Claudius Ptolemy, born around the year 100. Often called Ptolemy's cluster because he observed and described it, Messier 7 is an open cluster of stars in which constellation between Libra and Sagittarius?
Two. It'll be a zodiac one.
Yeah.
Sagittarius.
Seven. Is it the Pleiades?
But that's not a
No.
constellation.
We want a constellation.
But it's the
Libra?
cluster of stars in a
Was Libra one of them?
constellation.
I think Libra's one, maybe. No, that's M50. That's not M7. Cancer, maybe. Maybe Cancer.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have no idea. So.
Cancer.
Cancer.
No, it's Scorpius or the Scorpion. Secondly, Ptolemy's theorem states that a convex quadrilateral can be inscribed in a circle if the product of the lengths of a pair of opposite sides added to the product of the lengths of the other pair equals the product of what?
So, if it's a square, you'd get
Describes.
unit square, you get 2. And that's the top. Is it the...
I think you either know this or you don't.
Yeah. Guess.
Product of the radius and the diameter. Product of the radius and the diameter.
No, it's the lengths of the diagonals. And finally, Ptolemy's geography notes an island he calls Taprobana. This island is most often identified either as Sumatra or as which smaller island, some 1,500 kilometres west?
Java, maybe? Nah, it's Sumatra's west of Java.
Bali?
So it's
Yeah.
maybe wrong direction. West of Sumatra.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Try Bali?
Is Bali west?
No. We'll go for it anyway. We haven't got anything else.
Yeah. Just say anything.
Bali.
No, it's Sri Lanka. 10 points for this. Established by France and Italy and operating since 2005, which Antarctic research station has been used by the European Space Agency to research the effects of long-term space missions on humans? It shares its name with the Roman goddess of harmony.
Edinburgh Fitzjames.
Harmonia?
Anyone like to buzz from UCL?
UCL Mitkoff.
Minerva?
No, it's Concordia. 10 points for this. Which figure of Greek myth is the subject of a play of 1917 by Apollinaire and appears in Eliot's The Wasteland?
Edinburgh Fitzjames.
Medea?
No, you lose 5 points. Eliot's The Wasteland. He became a popular symbol in modernist writing on gender as a figure who, according to legend, had lived as both a man and a woman.
UCL Mitkoff.
Tiresias?
Tiresias is right, yes. These bonuses are on a punk band. Described as a slap in the face for male punk bands and rock journalists, Oh Bondage Up Yours was the 1977 debut single of which punk band, named in part after a form of electromagnetic radiation?
Radio waves, moth waves, and
Light.
Gamma.
Gamma girls?
Gamma girls.
X-rays? Gamma rays?
So, light, X-rays, gamma rays.
Gamma
Microwave.
definitely rings a bell, but I
Gamma.
can't think of the actual name of the band.
I've got no idea.
It's not just gamma ray.
Let's have it, please.
Try it.
Gamma ray.
No, it's X-ray specs. Described as having joie de vivre and nuttiness, who was the lead vocalist of X-ray specs? Her stage name is a type of rigid plastic used in costume jewellery.
That'll be polystyrene. Polystyrene?
Correct. And finally, not usually associated with punk bands, which wind instrument did Laura Logic and Rudy Thompson play in X-ray specs? Rat Trap by the Boomtown Rats features the same instrument.
Is it a clarinet?
What, saxophone? Yeah.
Saxophone, more
Saxophone
plausible.
sounds right.
Yeah, go with that.
Saxophone?
That's correct. Right, we're going to take a picture round. For your picture starter, you'll see a word cloud that shows in translation the most frequently occurring words in a major philosophical work of the 17th century. 10 points if you can identify the philosopher.
Edinburgh Malazar.
Descartes.
Descartes is correct, yes. So we follow on from Descartes' Meditations with 3 more word clouds derived from major philosophical works. Again, I just need the name of the author in each case. Note that any words appearing in the work's title will have been removed. Firstly, the author of this mid-19th century work.
Nietzsche. I think it's
Oh,
Nietzsche.
yeah.
Wait, let me see. Sorry.
Happiness, justice.
Oh, maybe not.
It could be John Stuart Mill.
Good.
Could be John Stuart Mill. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, actually.
Try
It
that?
might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah,
John
yeah,
Stuart Mill.
Correct, it is from
Sorry,
utilitarianism. Secondly, the author of this 20th century work shown in translation.
That looks like it could be Wittgenstein. I mean,
Wait,
probability, I'm not so. It could be
it says
Popper.
falsifiability.
Possibility. Oh, so that'd be Popper.
Or Karl
Yeah, I
Popper, which
Popper.
one is?
Yeah.
Okay, just, yeah.
Popper.
Correct. And finally, the author of this 18th century work also shown in translation.
Existence. Wouldn't that be 18th century, do you
18th
say?
century is what? Kant.
Yeah,
It
the
says
Kant. I think
Constantine.
that's Kant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Kant.
It is Immanuel Kant. Right, 10 points for this. For what do the letters RCT stand when indicating a type of clinical trial?
UCL Johnstone.
Randomised controlled trial.
Correct. Your bonuses are on chemical elements and Shakespeare. Concatenating the symbols for which 2 chemical elements spells the first word of Hamlet's Yorick speech?
Aluminium and astatine.
Aluminium, yeah. Aluminium acetine.
Aluminium astatine.
No, it's aluminium and arsenic. Secondly, the symbols for which 2 elements spell the name of the fairy in Midsummer Night's Dream who accompanies Cobweb, Peaseblossom and Mustard Seed in Titania's retinue.
It's moth.
Moth.
Yeah.
That's molybdenum and
Thorium.
thorium. Molybdenum and thorium.
Correct. It was moth, of course. And finally, the symbols for which 2 elements spell the animal that pursues Antigonus off the stage in Act 3 of The Winter's Tale.
Bear.
Lithium.
Sorry?
Sorry. Bear.
Bear. So beryllium and AR. Argon?
Oh. Or, yeah.
Yeah, beryllium and argon.
Beryllium and argon.
Correct. 10 points for this. Lammergeier, griffon and Egyptian are among the species of which large scavenging bird? Its name may be...
UCL Johnstone.
Vulture.
Correct. 3 questions on winners of the Turing Award in computing. Winner of the Turing Award in 1984, the Swiss-born Niklas Wirth developed which high-level structured programming language? It shares its name with that of a French thinker born in 1623.
Pascal. Yeah.
Pascal.
Correct. Secondly, in 2006, which US computer scientist became the first woman to win the Turing Award for contributions to the theory and practice of optimizing compiler techniques?
I haven't the faintest.
Sorry, pass.
That was Francis Allen. And finally, which British scientist won the award in 2016? In 1991, he launched the website info.cern.ch.
Berners-Lee. Yeah. Berners-Lee.
Berners-Lee.
Tim Berners-Lee is correct. 10 points for this. In which year was the most excellent order of the British Empire established by King George V? The same year saw the renaming of the royal house to Windsor and the overthrow of George's cousin, Nicholas II.
Edinburgh Malazar.
1917.
Correct. Your bonuses now are on towns in southern England. In an early example of what came to be known as invasion literature, which town to the east of Guildford appears in the title of George Tompkins Chesney's 1871 story of a surprise German attack on Britain?
East of Guildford.
Somewhere in Kent. Dover, maybe?
Dover is a bit obvious, isn't it?
Colchester.
No, it's Colchester's Nest.
That's, yeah.
Hastings.
Hastings is good.
Hastings.
No, it's the Battle of Dorking. Secondly, in H.G. Wells's The War of the Worlds, the Martians land on Horsell Common, in which town in Surrey, a few miles northwest of Dorking?
It's Kingston?
I don't think it's Kingston. I think Kingston. I don't know.
Kingston?
No, it's Woking. And finally, which town between Margate and Ramsgate is often cited as the model for Bradgate, the scene of the finale of John Buchan's The 39 Steps?
Margate and Ramsgate.
Pass.
That's Broadstairs. Right, we're going to take a music round now. For your music starter, you'll hear the outro of a pop song. 10 points if you can give me the title of the song.
Edinburgh Fitzjames.
Sitting on the dock of the bay.
Correct, yes. Following on from Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, your music bonuses are 3 more pop songs that make notable use of whistling. This time I want the name of the band or artist in each case. Firstly, this band.
Like an Egyptian.
Yes, the Bangles.
The Bangles.
The Bangles is correct. Secondly, this solo artist.
I guess.
It's me and Julia have down by the schoolyard, so it's Paul Simon, right?
Okay. Paul Simon.
Paul Simon is correct. And finally, this band.
Peter, Bjorn and John. Peter, Bjorn, nominate.
Nominate Booth.
Peter, Bjorn and John.
Correct. 10 points for this. AAB, OB and AGF are among Superliga football clubs in which European country? Another...
UCL Midcoff.
Portugal.
No, you lose 5 points. Another leading club is known as FCK, the letter K representing that country's capital in its own language.
Edinburgh Fitzjames.
Ukraine.
No, it's Denmark. 10 points for this. In a work of 1811, which essayist and critic argued that Shakespeare should be...
UCL Midcoff.
William Hazlitt.
No, you lose 5 points. Should be read rather than staged. His other published works include essays of Elia and, with his sister Mary, Tales from Shakespeare.
Edinburgh Fitzjames.
Charles Lamb.
Charles Lamb is correct. Your bonuses are on branches of theology. Firstly, its name derived from the Greek for saviour. What branch of theology concerns doctrines of salvation?
Soteriology.
Correct. What term was coined by Gottfried Leibniz and used by him in the title of a work of 1710, which attempts to explain why a benevolent deity allows the occurrence of evil?
Theodicy.
Correct. From the Greek for last, what term denotes the branch of theology concerned with the final elements of history or the end time?
Eschatology.
Eschatology is correct. 10 points for this. Which analgesic has a name derived from the Greek for poppy head? Discovered in 1832 by the chemist Pierre Rubiquet, it's often combined with paracetamol in non-prescription painkillers.
UCL Fang.
Codeine.
Codeine is correct. Your bonuses this time are on John Masefield's poem, Cargoes. In Cargoes, the ship of Nineveh from distant Ophir is described as what type of vessel? Its name incorporates the Latin word for the number 5.
Quinquereme.
Nominate Mitkoff.
Quinquereme.
Correct. The Spanish galleon in Cargoes carries emeralds, amethysts, and 2 kinds of precious stone that define grades 8 and 10 on the Mohs scale of mineral hardness. What are they?
Diamonds.
Rubies
10 would be
and
diamond.
diamonds.
And
8. What were the other 2? We had amethyst and...
Emeralds and amethyst.
OK, ruby.
Ruby.
rubies.
Yeah, I would call
Rubies and diamonds?
No, it's topazes and diamonds.
it. Sorry.
In the same poem, the vessel carrying road rail, pig lead, firewood, ironware and cheap tin trays is what nationality?
Russian, maybe?
Yeah.
Russia?
Yeah, Russian.
OK, Russian?
It's a dirty British coaster. Right, a starter question. In terms of both population and land area, what is the largest country in the world without permanent rivers? While none of its watercourses is perennial, it has many dried riverbeds known as...
UCL Fang.
Algeria.
No, known as wadis. You lose 5 points.
Edinburgh Malazan.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say Sudan, but clear denial.
No, it's Saudi Arabia. So 10 points for this. Fingers on the buzzers, please. What sequence of 3 letters ends the names of a large monkey of the genus Papio, a nocturnal North American...
Edinburgh Fitzjames.
O-O-N.
O-O-N is right. Your bonuses now are on physics. In each case, give the two-word term that completes the extract from a Nobel Prize citation. To Albert Einstein, firstly, in 1921, for his services to theoretical physics, and especially for his discovery of the law of the...
Photoelectric effect.
Correct. To Donald Glaser, in 1960, for the invention of what device for the detection of electrically charged particles?
Okay, so it's not the cloud chamber, the bubble chamber?
Sure.
The bubble chamber?
Correct. And finally, to Arno Allen Penzias and Robert Woodrow Wilson in 1978 for their discovery of cosmic microwave what?
Background radiation.
Correct. 10 points for this. The invention of which woodwind instrument in about 1700 is attributed to Johann Christoph Denner of Nuremberg. It is usually made from African blackwood and has a single reed mouthpiece.
UCL Johnston.
Clarinet.
Correct. Your bonuses this time are on figures whose surnames mean smith or blacksmith in their native languages. In each case, give the name from the description. Firstly, a French composer born in 1845. He's noted for his pavane and requiem and the song Après un rêve.
Ferrier?
Fauré.
Correct. Born in 1985, the Russian tennis player who won the ladies' singles titles at the 2004 US Open and the 2009 French Open.
Russian. Kuznetsov is Smith, I think.
Is it?
Isn't it a woman?
Yeah, it's a woman.
Kuznetsova.
Yeah.
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 Kuznetsova.
That's correct, yes. And finally, the Italian entrepreneur who founded an automotive manufacturing company at Modena in 1939.
Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ferrari.
Ferrari is correct, yes. Right, we're going to take a second picture round. For your picture starter, you're going to see a painting. For 10 points, please name the artist.
Edinburgh Fitzjames.
Monet.
Monet is correct. Impression Sunrise. Of course, that was the painting after which Impressionism was named, after it was shown in 1874 in what is now regarded as the first Impressionist exhibition. Your picture bonuses are 3 more works from that exhibition. Name the artist in each case. Firstly...
That'll be Degas.
Degas, yeah, Degas.
Degas.
Degas is correct. Ballet rehearsal on stage. Secondly...
Berthe Morisot or... No, I guess Berthe Morisot.
Correct. That's The Cradle. And finally...
That's Renoir, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Renoir.
Renoir is correct. 10 points for this. Answer as soon as your name is called. 6 times 9 in base 10 is equal to 42 in what base?
Edinburgh Fitzjames.
16.
No, anyone like to buzz from UCL?
UCL Walker.
12.
No, it's 13. So 10 points for this starter question. Meanings of what 5-letter word include a repeated pattern or design, a dominant or recurring sequence of musical notes?
UCL Walker.
Motif.
Correct. You get a set of bonuses on a tree. The desert tree Yucca brevifolia has what common name after its supposed resemblance to an Old Testament warrior holding out a javelin?
Goliath, Samson, I don't know.
Samson.
Sure. Yeah.
Warrior.
I don't know, I'll go for Goliath.
Goliath's more of a warrior.
Yeah.
Goliath tree.
No, it's a Joshua tree. The Joshua tree belongs to which subfamily of the larger Asparagaceae family? Other species of the subfamily are the source of alcoholic drinks, such as tequila and mezcal.
Agave.
Agave.
Agave is correct. And straddling the Mojave and Colorado deserts, the Joshua Tree National Park is located in which U.S. state?
I think it's in California. It might be Nevada.
California.
Sure. Yeah.
California.
Correct. Right, there's about 3.5 minutes to go, and there's 10 points at stake for this. Rogaland, Hordaland, and Opland are...
Edinburgh Malazan.
Norway.
Norway is correct, yes. These bonuses are on biology, Edinburgh. Occurring in arthropods and reptiles, what is the common term for the process known as ecdysis?
Shedding the skin. Shedding of skin.
Correct, or molting. What six-letter term denotes an immature arthropod between molts, usually of the larval or nymphal stages?
Instar.
Correct. Also used for an unconscious idealized mental image of a person, what five-letter term denotes the final stage of an insect, particularly a winged insect?
Imago.
Imago.
Imago is correct. 10 points for this. A component of gluten in wheat and other cereals, gliadins belong to which class of biomolecules?
Edinburgh Fitzjames.
Proteins.
Proteins is correct. Gives you the lead, and your bonuses are on orchestral works. Composed in 1822, The Consecration of the House was performed at the premiere of which major orchestral work by the same composer?
1822. Berlioz, yeah, sure.
Berlioz.
No, it's Beethoven's Ninth, or choral symphony. Also dating to the 1820s, which composer's Ninth Symphony in C major is known as the Great?
I don't know.
Mahler.
No, it's Schubert. Which Central European composer's Ninth Symphony was first performed at Carnegie Hall in New York in 1893?
Dvorak.
Dvorak is correct. 10 points for this. Meaning related to digestion, what term is applied both to gastric ulcers that form in the lining of the stomach and duodenal ulcers that form in the intestine?
UCL Johnstone.
Peptic.
Peptic is correct. These bonuses are on Japan. Which of the islands of Japan is closest in size to Scotland?
It would be Honshu,
Quickly.
Kyushu maybe.
Kyushu.
No, it's Hokkaido. Formerly a place of exile and similar in size to the Isle of Mull, which is the sixth largest island of Japan?
Could it be the one in the south? Maybe. What's the...
Okinawa?
Yeah, Okinawa. Maybe.
Okinawa.
No, it's Sado. Which island of Japan is similar in size to Wales? Its name means four provinces.
Satsuma.
Okay.
Satsuma, yeah.
Satsuma. Satsuma.
No, it's Shikoku. 10 points for this. 59 West 44th Street is the address of which New York hotel? It's associated with an informal group of literary figures.
UCL Walker.
The Chelsea Hotel.
No.
Edinburgh Fitzjames.
The Algonquin.
The Algonquin is correct, yes. You lose 5 points. You get a set of bonuses on winners of the Pritzker Architecture Prize, the Pompidou Centre in Paris, the Minami Yamashiro School in Kyoto, and Terminal 4 of Madrid Barajas Airport are works by which architect? And at the gong, UCL have 160, but Edinburgh have 180. Well, you couldn't quite hang on, could you? Bad luck. So we're going to have to say goodbye to you, I'm afraid, UCL. Congratulations, Edinburgh. You took a bit of time to get going, but when you did, you were on convincing form. We look forward to seeing you in the quarterfinals. I hope you can join us next time for another second-round match, but until then, it's goodbye from University College London.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Edinburgh University.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.